McFarlane Toys now has a new Elite action figure series with more stuff. It looks better, but it's also more expensive. Is it worth the price, or is it just a new way for them to charge more money? Let's open it up, check it out, and of course do some toy photography. So McFarlane Toys has a brand new line of figures called
The Elite Edition.
Well, it's the Elite Edition. Which means what? Better paint, more accessories, soft goods, better sculpts. Everything is better because it's Elite. It also means, though, more expensive. Like, pretty significantly more expensive. But does it make sense? Are we willing to pay a little bit more to get a better figure? Usually I am. I definitely am willing to pay a little more to get a better figure, but is it worth it? Is it 50 bucks or 60 bucks? I found this at Walmart for 50 bucks in a toy hunt, by the way, so if you're interested in seeing that, it's all on the channel. But some places are selling these Elite figures for 60 bucks. So man, it seems kind of high, but just by me looking at this figure, I can already tell they really have put a lot more into this figure to make it Elite. Just by the paint and like that looks so good. The detail is pretty legit. And he's got this freaking awesome fur cape, you know, like from the game. And there's a lot more accessories. So far I'm thinking, yeah, I'm thinking this is gonna be worth 50 bucks. But there's some other figures in this Elite line that I'm not quite sure about yet. Like there's the Lucy from Fallout. Absolutely love her. But that one's still the $50, $60 price point? That's kind of weird to me. I don't know. So I'm really excited to see what this whole Elite Edition is all about. Plus, this is the Doomslayer from Dark Ages. Have you played this game? It's freaking incredible. I don't think it's quite as good as Doom Eternal. That's just me, but I absolutely loved every second of playing this game. Can't wait for the DLC. It's so much fun. Doom is just chaotic fun. I think that's the best way to put it. So one of the best things about McFarlane, in my opinion, is their figures and their stuff are pretty easy to get your hands on. They're very accessible. So if you want to pick this guy up, check your local Walmart, your GameStop. I'm not sure if he's showing up at Target yet, but check them all. You might be able to find them, or just go to the links I've got in the description of this video. I'll put as many links as I can. GameStop, any toy store, Big Bad Toy Store, it's all going to be listed in there. And I'll probably even have it in the YouTube little shopping thing too. That might even make it easier for you. So it's all in there, but man, I can't wait to open him up, compare him to some older Doomslayers, all of that stuff. It's gonna be a fantastic video. Really, really excited for this one. So did you play Doom the Dark Ages? What were your thoughts? I loved it, but the one thing about Eternal I loved more was there were just way more demons to kill. I would get into one big battle and I'd be going over and over. It'd be like a half-hour long battle just taking out so many demons. I just wanted longer and more, but maybe the DLC will be different. I haven't started the Ripitorium yet, but I'm excited for that. This guy is freaking legit. Like, I'm impressed, to be honest, with this. Like, obviously, I know this is more money. You'd be paying 50 to 60 bucks versus the old, 25 or so. It's very clear that there's extra money is being put into this. I think it's incredibly obvious, actually. Just the paint work alone is kind of like, I'm gonna say this is the paint and detail on him definitely rivals like an import figure. If you look at a 1000 Toys, this is way more detailed than one of those 1000 Toys Spartans. This is on the detail work of a Figuarts or a Mafex, and I believe so. The paint is so good. It looks so good. All the little trim and detail of chrome on every little piece. There's still weathering here and there. It's pretty freaking awesome. And yeah, he's got this fur cape. This isn't the nicest mink fox fur or whatever.
That's quite a wrap you're wearing. Perhaps I could get you some fluffy new slippers made from the heads of innocent and defenseless baby seals.
That costs more than a lot more fabric you could use for a cape, And it just looks great. There's a nice little touch with the actual metal chain here. The one thing about this guy that is not Elite is the articulation. And I think that's it's almost just like obvious. Like you can pose him a little bit, but like it's not the best. Like that's as much as you're gonna get for elbow right there, which is honestly, that kind of sucks. I mean, it's a little bit difficult to do that. Like if you wanted to get a figure or a character this bulky to be articulated, you're gonna have to make some real big sacrifices as far as how the figure looks. And that's what Figma did with this one. A lot of big sacrifices. Like look how ugly that little piece of the arm is. It's ugly, but it gives you really great articulation, you know? So that was their choice. And as far as McFarlane, they were like definitely prioritizing the way he looks over the articulation. And you know what? That's fair, I get that. And you know, just the accessories too are freaking cool as heck. This guy needs to be holding his shield right now. So which hand does it go on? There we go. He's on there. Wow, does that just look freaking great or what? I'm so impressed. I really am impressed with McFarlane. This really does seem like a big step up in quality. The Elite Edition more expensive makes sense. I see that. This looks and feels like an Elite and more expensive version of another figure. And I think that's great. So, Mr. Slayer here has some accessories. That's one of the things that makes him elite. And the first one is his shield, the shield saw. So it's got a nice little way of having him hold it. So it's actually quite easy to do. So the shield looks great, in my opinion. It looks really good. And you can just kind of stick it in his hand. And it fits really nicely. Like it just looks like a part of him. Like whatever part of him that was looking missing before, it's there now. And that's so cool. Comes with, of course, everyone, I hope's #1 favorite weapon, the super shotgun right here, which I'm so glad they included this. This is very, very essential in my opinion and the best gun in the game. So cool. And this is awesome. So this is the flail. If you remember in the game, this one I did end up using a lot more often, but once I got the really big one at the end, I used this less. But this is, I think, the coolest looking one in here, and I think this will look good in his hand to really complete him. Awesome. And I love how it's just short enough to the point where it just hovers above the ground like that. When he's standing, it's just short enough. It doesn't touch the ground. I love that so much. Really, really love that. And we've got the pulverizer. If you watched that first trailer when the game came out, this was like one of the big splashes. Like, whoa, what gun is that? And so this is a great thing to have it included. It's weird, the skulls look really small in there, but he's also a big guy. So his skull is probably just big. This looks great though. The detail on the skull and everything looks really good. There's not a whole lot of paint in the details on the gun itself. It's kind of just a gunmetal, but it still looks pretty cool. This is the, you know, what's the Ravager is the more precise version of this. It's not this, it's just the straight up pulverizer, but it looks pretty fantastic. And he comes with 2 other hands as well. So we've just got an open hand, and the way the joint goes like all the way up in the palm. So you have a lot of movement there. That's really cool. Actually, that'll look great for posing. And same with the fist. There's another one that's a fist, and the joint just goes way up there, so it really gives you some range. And then, you know, he comes with the little stand, the little peg stand, which does say Doom on it, so they don't typically do that. That's pretty cool. One nice little touch that McFarlane does. There it goes. Why is that happening? He's like leaning. Probably won't use it anyway. And then he comes with the playing card, which I don't ever collect these, but I do really like how they do this. I think it's really cool. It's got some lore on there for him. And then it's got an 50 points Elite Edition thing. So if you go online, you can give yourself some points, which I'm gonna keep track of this. If I can get some points and get some free figures, I might do that. That's pretty cool. Way better than that whatever digital figure crap that they were doing. Did anyone give a crap about that? Definitely not me. So articulation is gonna be the one thing that's not super elite with this guy. As far as the head is concerned, you actually got a pretty decent amount of head movement. Have him look up and down. Not up very much, but you can turn pretty nicely. T-pose. Yeah, that's, well, that pops in nice and much better, but that's about as far as T-pose as you're gonna get. Yeah, they actually pop out kind of easy. Ooh. And elbow is a little rough. So that's about all you're gonna get with elbow. I don't know, I think they probably could have done a little better with the elbow. Like if they could get a full, just a 90 degree, that would be cool. I feel like that could have been possible, I don't know. Crunch isn't, that's not horrible. Leg and knee isn't too terrible either. You got a little bit of a split, can twist pretty well. Yeah, it's really not that great. And to be honest, the Doomslayer, when you're seeing him move, he's very slow and stoic, and it kind of complements him a little bit. Even though, you know, you're jumping around destroying demons, whenever you see him on the cutscenes, he's pretty just like badass walking around nice and slow. But still, a little bit more articulation would be a little bit better. And you can still get, I think, probably some pretty cool poses with this guy. Just everything, it looks great. Just articulation is pretty limited, to be generous. So I'm gonna try something here, because I've got this really thin wire that I've used for making wired capes, and I wonder if I can kind of weave this through this chain on here so that I can make it so it's like movable and articulated, which I think would be really easy. So if you want to try this out, I'll have the wire linked in the description, but if you go to any Walmart, any hobby store, just look for a thin wire. It doesn't need to be anything good. I'm just gonna weave it through the little chains here and see if I can get something really cool. Okay, well, here it is, and it's not perfect. It's really not, like, at all, but it can work. It does stand up a little bit. You can move it around more. Yeah, you can articulate it. It's okay. I mean, it's shorter now because of the fact I had to weave the wire through it, but I think it's kind of cool, and it's a cool option if you want to do it, and you don't have to leave it in too. You can just kind of take it out, take the wire out anytime you want. You gotta finagle with it. I'm sure someone could do a better job than I did, but it's kind of a cool option. It can create some cool poses, I think. So that's just a fun little thing that I wanted to try, and I'm kind of in. All right then, well, McFarlane figures are usually 7 inches. Say that is consistent with the Doom Slayer. Excuse me. Consistent with the Doom Slayer. So the big thing to compare them to is the previous McFarlane Doom Eternal Slayer, which, man, as much as I love Doom Eternal more, I think this is just the better design. The Doom Slayer just looks cooler, even though he's just always cool, man. God, he's so cool. Anyway, I think it's night and day. So obviously this figure is a lot cheaper. This was like $20 at the time. He's pretty hard to get your hands on nowadays though, which is pretty unfortunate, very expensive. But it's so night and day. Don't, like, if anybody tells you like, oh, it's the same thing as the $20 figure, but $50 now, they're just trying to rage bait you. Don't listen to any of them. That's so silly. The paint and the detail and just the sculpt in general is so much more detailed. It's not even close. Obviously the accessories are better. It comes with more stuff. The articulation isn't much better. That's for sure. And I think that's obvious, and I'm not gonna pretend it is, because it's not. But I think it's a night and day difference. And if you're not into all this extra stuff for the extra price, I get it. I get why that would be not worth it to you. For me, yeah, all of this stuff in here, all of this goodness, yeah, that is worth it to me. But if it's not, then I get why you would be a little like, man, I don't want this thing for 50 bucks. Just give me another $20 one. I get that. But for me, totally. This guy is cool, but it's a night and day difference in my opinion. So next, this is the Figma Doom Slayer, which this figure is really cool, and I'm really glad it exists. And it's interesting, I did a video on it a while back, and I really loved it, and I still do, but as time goes on, I think I like it less and less. Because the proportions are a little bit weird. He seems like short and wide. You know, it's just a little weird. And I don't know what it is that bothers me, but it does. He comes with tons of great stuff, and he is a really cool figure. Like, his articulation it's really good. It's really, really good. And so Figma is doing a Doom the Dark Ages figure. So you bet your gosh darn bottom dollar I'm gonna be doing a video on that. I don't know when that's coming out, but I know they're doing it. If there could be something in between these two, that would be the perfect Doom figure for me. I got a fun idea. Okay, that's cool as heck, is it not? Like, the Crucible on Doom the Dark Ages, it fits so well with the sword, doesn't it? Like, come on. What a cool thing. I might just leave that on my shelf. I love that. And so this is kind of just for funsies. This is the little toy you can get in Doom Eternal. This is made by Numbskull, which is really, really cool. I'm a big fan of these. I love these, and I wish I had all of them, but I don't. But still a fun little comparison. I know they did a similar one for this, but it's like a really expensive version. If they make a cheapo one like this for the Dark Ages, I'm buying it. So this is for really big funsies, literally really big. This is the Mondo Doom Eternal Doom Slayer. And this thing is so cool. I love this thing. I've done a video on it and everything, and wow, it's such a cool figure. Articulation also sucks, but it's so cool. Mondo, what are you doing? Are you doing a Dark Ages one or what? Because I want one. So I would like one. Thank you. Okay, so we've got 2 questions here this time. First question is it a W or is it an L? And the second question, which might even be more important, is this elite figure really elite? Is it worth the extra 20, 25 bucks, you know, for this versus a normal McFarlane figure? Well, first of all, I think it's a W. I really love this figure. I'm a little biased because I love Doom so much, and I'm just like, wow, I really like it a lot. And I think it looks just like him. I think it totally is satisfying. Is it worth the elite tag though? I mean, I think so. I think it is. It's kind of similar to the whole Maximum situation that Hasbro's doing. They seem to be following the same kind of thing. You're getting more stuff. I think the quality of the figure is clearly a step up from previous ones. You know, the sculpt does look better. Like I said, the detail and paint is out of this world. It's so clearly elite compared to the other ones. Articulation, no, but that's not as much of a worry for me. I really do think that this is worth it. But I get anyone who doesn't, because they're like, well, I just want a $20 Doomslayer figure and now I can't get one because I gotta get an elite version. I get that, I get it, but in my opinion, I'm loving it and I would prefer an elite version. So that's just me though. I would love to know what you think. Is it a W or L? Is it worth it? Let me know in the comments. And look who's here just in time for the end of the video, Venom. Do you give him a W or L? I know you kind of missed it. Worst timing. Sometimes you get great timing, sometimes you don't. Anyway, Venom, I need to take a photo of this guy right here. I'm really excited to photograph him. He's so incredibly photogenic. So I'm gonna take him out, maybe do something with some skeletons. I don't know. Let's take a great photo of this guy right here. Well, hello, here I am. I'm underneath a little bridge here. So this bridge connects Green Island to Troy, New York. And I just found a cool new spot. It's just like underneath the bridge. It pays to explore. Let me show you what I got. So there were just a bunch of waves coming through just now and it kind of screwed with things, but it's okay. So I've got the Doomslayer chilling right there. And look at his cape flowing in the wind because there's a stick holding it up. Sticks do a lot of help. And he's surrounded by all these skeletons, which he doesn't really fight a lot of just straight up skeletons, right? But that's okay. That's kind of all I've got that kind of works with him, and it's gonna be cool. So all of these skeletons are Mythic Legions skeletons by 4 Horsemen Studios. If you know Mythic Legions, you know Mythic Legions, but these are really great. These are really the only figures of theirs I collect because I like skeletons. And I've done videos on these guys, so if you're curious about it, there you go. But he's just surrounded, standing there like a badass, and the whole entire scene is filled. I've even got some skulls down there, which have kind of fallen over from the waves. But this is kind of how it's looking like in person, and that looks cool as heck, right? That looks really cool. It looked a little bit better before the waves, but it looks really cool. There's a lot of greenery back there, which I'm not really a fan of. When I was setting up before, there was a lot of shade. There was no sunlight, and so it was a little bit darker, but that's okay. I'll probably edit some of that out. I've got one light source. I've got a Lume Cube Panel Pro right there, holding him up, being held up by a little tripod, and the lighting is looking kind of good. And I specifically chose this spot around amongst all the others because it's in the shade. When you are working with water surface like this, it's either really beautiful in the direct sunlight with no clouds because it's nice and bright, but if you're doing it on a cloudy day, the white just covers up the entire surface of the water and it just looks so white. So right now I'm in a little shady spot right there, seeing the water's much clearer and it looks better and it won't look just like white, just noise in the photo. So my shutter speed right now is at 1,000 and my f-stop's at 4.0. F-stop's a little bit high because I want a little bit more skeleton goodness in focus. So it's kind of working out with what I've got here. The lower I have it, the more blurry the skeletons get. This guy's just a big blur, but he is taking up some empty space there, some open space, so that's kind of cool. And so my shutter speed's at 1,000 only because I want it to be pretty dark. I don't really need a whole lot of moving particles or anything like that, and that's fine. That's totally fine. And my ISO's at 400. So the photo's pretty much all done and ready to go. So I'm gonna just take a couple shots. I'm gonna use some atmosphere aerosol right here and do a little bit of spritzy back there, which is actually gonna make it look pretty cool and make some of the details stand out more because of just the whiter background. It'll help with the details. I might also hold up one of these lume cubes above his head just to get a little more lighting up there, maybe a little bit of rim lighting. By the way, if you want any atmosphere aerosol, I've got it all linked in the description with a 15% discount code as well. That's pretty much it. Hopefully this looks like a Doom area. The bridge back there kind of looks like a big tunnel, which, I don't know, looks like a Doom area. I don't know. I'm gonna take some shots and see what happens. All right, let's just do a quick post-photo breakdown for the Doom guy with all the skellies. Here's the final product. This is probably one of the happiest I've been with the photos in a while. I really like this picture. I think it's because it's the first real good Doom photo I've done. And I think that's mostly because I don't have a lot of stuff that feels Doom-like. I don't have any demons to have him fight. I feel like I don't have any good locations, but I think this works. I think the skeletons work too, and I'm really happy about it. Plus, I just think it looks good. Very happy with it. So this is the original photo right here. A little bit zoomed in, but this is the original right here. And if you look at the before and after, it's pretty different. It's pretty big. So first of all, I got rid of all of this greenage here. That was just horrible. That didn't look very Doom-like at all. So I used the generative fill to get rid of that to make it just look more like underneath the bridge or whatever, the tunnel, whatever you want to think it is. I also cropped it quite a bit too because I wanted to zoom in kind of a little bit on the Doom guy, and it also centered things out a little better. And the main thing I did was just really mess with the colors and the darkness and the brightness to make it feel just a bit colder and darker feeling, you know? So it really made a big difference because this is so bright and green and all that, and this is not. I also took the lighting from here and brought it over to make this just a little bit crisper on him, and I went with the dodge tool all over him to just brighten up all this beautiful goodness on there, and I think it worked out quite nicely. And I also added a lens flare over here as well, so that just kind of looks cool. And the only thing I'd want to change is probably the posing on some of the skeletons. I think this guy's posing is bad. I don't know what I was thinking, but oh well. That's about it. So give me some critiques as always, and let's just run the end of the video. So, in my opinion, the new elite McFarlane figures are pretty elite. I think this is absolutely a major step up. It's a couple bucks more, a few dollars more actually, but I think it's definitely worth that amount. But I'm definitely curious to hear what you think. If you did enjoy the video, however, please consider liking and subscribing to the channel. This photo will be posted up onto Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook, and if you want to follow any of my work on any of those platforms, it's all linked in the video description below. And thank you for watching, of course, getting this far into the video, and I hope to see you in the next one.